This is Donnie Wise, and I own Donnie Wise and Associates LLC. That is the parent company to Finance Dynamic. Also, for our other websites at DonnieWiseLive.com, MyDonnieWise.com, FinanceDynamic.com, and also the EmpowerTheConsumer.com. We are going to be doing a lot of things. First, we're going to be focused on providing news resources for consumers and business and the financial services industry. And what I mean by that is that there are three focal points we have with our consumer and business line. First, the consumers, we are in a debtor society. Our banking system is broken, and if we don't fix it now from a place of somewhat strength, our next generation is going to have to pick up the pieces of what we're leaving behind. And I hear people say, you can't do this, you can't educate younger people, there's not enough time in the school curriculum, or that people are so impoverished or not able to make ends meet to put some sort of plan so their kids could do better. Wrong. On the consumer side, if you have children, you can make your children's life better. At 18 years of age, we should all walk out of school. If I look back at high school, and I should have been able to manage, borrow, and invest my money, or know how to do it. And also, I should have known the operations of starting a small business. But I did not. I knew everything else, and it impacted my life, even with a 13-year career in banking, where I had major success in what I did. But nobody ever told me I was going to have cancer, or I was going to be sick for 2 years, and that the nightmare that I would have to face afterwards. So my grandparents left a strong country for us, and they're gone. And we're leaving debt for our next generation. And as a consumer, we're going to be focused on getting the family back to owning their own financial destiny. And especially we're going to focus on the children, integrating them from cradle to grave, and our super parenting $1 million children by 18. And that's the book I've been working on. And we will be introducing a big rollout beginning on July 11th to detail on how we are going to involve a lot of people into helping us finish up the book and roll it out in multimedia. But this is one of the reasons why we're doing this. And this portion of this video is going to be on the consumer. We're starting a nonprofit. A lot of the material that we're going to be selling is expensive. And it's worth it. I mean, you're going to have multimedia podcasts. You'll have everything possible to help parents teach their kids and change behaviors of themselves to teach their kids how to be more in a financial stewardship of their finances before 18. Under 10 years of age, the kids are making $1,360 a year because parents are competing with each other. They're guilty. But the biggest guilt in America that we do not feel guilty about is our students going to college with no options but debt for degrees. And we should create a new safer society. It's easier to teach children than it is the older folks like myself. So if you look at here, the shocking stats on student financial literacy: 41% default on their loans, student loans. 1 in 6 teens are unable to make even simple decisions about everyday spending. I got my first credit card when I walked through the doors of North Carolina State University, and that's how was my introduction into this world of credit and borrowing and managing money. I mean, because I had plenty of it when I was that age. Financial literacy assessment, if you see right here, said that U.S. performs around average of countries that and economies that participate, ranking between somewhere 8th and 12th. I mean, 15-year-old students in 18 countries were tested with assessments through a 60-minute paper test. Students were also asked to participate in math and reading assessments to provide information on their backgrounds, attitudes toward learning, experience with money, and financial products. In the U.S., 1,100 students in 158 schools completed the assessment. That's not what the most interesting is. The data reveals that the mathematics and reading are very closely related to financial literacy. The 80% of the financial literacy scores skills can be measured in the math and reading assessments, while 20% of the score reflects that are uniquely captured by the financial literacy assessment. Basically, what they're saying there is that the worse you are in math, the worse you are in financial literacy, and that's there's possibly some truth with that, but I want to tell you here's how it is. Our financial literacy used to be my dad and my uncle were able to be in very poor situations as children, but they knew the American dream. When they decided to follow it, my dad was able to go to the bank and get the financing for a fertilizer company. He developed, started a small company, was bought out by a company that was out of 18 nations, and he was executive vice president for almost 20 years for his retirement. And when he became, his banker was Mr. Mayo. And Mr. Mayo was a part of our family. We knew who he was. And he taught my dad the financial places his business should be to be financially. But that was almost like a tribal knowledge. It was not handed down to the children. The education system does not provide it. So one thing while I'm doing this video is to say that we're going to be asking for funds for our nonprofit called Kelly's Hope. We're also going to be asking for donations. You can track all these donations. It's not to pay us or for us to profit. It's for us to start financial literacy classes, to be able to provide the Super Parenting book to every child in America. Because here's the deal. If in school, in high school, if you had a business ownership fair project, even if not everyone played the business owner, but they knew how it operated, what benefit would that be? What benefit if your child had saved the money that they made as a teenager or whimsically come up with some idea to get a great allowance? That money adds up. And what happened if you go back even further and you, as a future parent, years ago, didn't have a $100,000 wedding? At 18 years of age, we're giving debts, we're giving degrees for debt. And we're strapping a whole generation with a nightmare. And growing up without having that burden of student loan debt, that's one of my missions in doing this. I worked in banking, and there's a better way to do this. So Super Parenting helps the parents helps their young children integrate into a system where they're financially savvy without the education system and using our existing laws and programs by the time they're 18. So we ask for donations. It'll show where it's going. Part of it will be going to help us get the nonprofit started, Kelly's Hope. And if you want to find out more about this, go to DonnieWiseLive.com/Kelly's Hope. And it will detail the story of my friend and what happened to her and why we are doing this. Thank you for your time today, and we'll talk soon. And anytime you would like to contact me, I'm Donnie Wise at empowertheconsumer.com or area code 919-208-5605.